So far we've looked at the oscillators in previous video, and the low-pass filter in the previous episode, and then we looked a little bit at the LFO applied to the low-pass filter, but today we're going to start off looking at the LFOs, and because you can really route them to many parts of the synth, almost everywhere pretty much. So let's start with that. So again, all we need to do is hold down the LFO that we want to assign, and then we're going to turn the knob that we want to change. So what could be pretty cool would be to assign it to the shape knob here, oscillator 1 shape. This basic patch basically only has one oscillator. Let's add a second oscillator as a triangle, maybe. No, as a pulse. And then the first one we'll have as a saw and triangle. There we go. And we can hear both. Oscillator 2, oscillator 1. We'll have the filter fully open. And let's change the shape of this pulse here. That's much more pleasing. Okay. So LFO 1 changed the shape of oscillator 2. There we go. So let's have a listen first. Nothing's happening, but let's increase the frequency and the amount. There we go. Now let's bring in both oscillators. And let's change the frequency of oscillator 1. And we're going to do something, let's try something a little bit experimental here. We're going to go to LFO 2. We are going to go to oscillator 1 frequency. We're going to leave it at C2, I think is where it was. Yep. And we're going to have oscillator 2 have a square wave. Okay. LFO 2 is going to control oscillator 1 frequency. There we go. So, So yeah, that is actually pretty cool. So we have routed LFO 2 to the frequency, the pitch of oscillator 1, and we have set LFO 2 to have a square wave shape, which means that it will go up and down in a very predictable way, and by setting the amount to what we wanted, we've achieved it that it goes between one octave to the next, almost like a arpeggiator within just the oscillator, one of the oscillators that makes up the voice. So that's what you're hearing there. We change the frequency. And almost. There you go. Almost sounds like a SID type of sound.